Welcome. This is Ashtar. You never know who it's going to be, do you? That's why we always clear that up from the start, so you don't spend the entire time wondering. Then you can go back to your breathing. Again, it is a great pleasure to be with you, to see such beautiful beings gathered in a focused way. It is a humbling experience for me. I will do my best to entertain you this evening while the Ascended Masters operate on your etheric bodies. I would like to speak a little bit about these days that we are living in. Some of you are going to already know most of what I am saying. You will have to bear with me. You can breathe and wait patiently for a few new tidbits. But I would like to speak again about the Ascension, as it is the most important aspect of our teachings or our transmissions. These times are so exciting, so full of promise. The energies that are coming through now to all of you, to this planet, are extremely powerful. It is going to be rather difficult for you to maintain your limited perspectives for much longer. In fact, it is going to be impossible. So there's some good news for you. It is a transformation at its finest. In past ages, it was only a very few beings who were attuned enough and focused enough to attain what you will attain in this lifetime. You have been practicing your spiritual pursuits. You have been meditating, awakening, growing. You have been processing. I'm sure you are all getting tired of processing. There is an end to processing at this level of intensity, and that end is near. So try to hang in there a little longer. The reason you are all processing so intensely these days is because you are growing so intensely, because the entire fabric of your beings is being transformed. And all that is impure, all that is limited is falling away. And what will remain is you as an ascended being, as a spiritual master, fully clothed in your Christ bodies, and experiencing the joy of enlightenment and liberation. Liberation from third-dimensional limitations. So you are all on your path of spiritual growth. And you have all had many incarnations. And you have had many interactions. And you have been teachers and have been students. And you have been growing and evolving to a goal. And it is for me to tonight a little bit address this goal and focus it a little bit more. I am not speaking to any individual here about your particular path, but I am speaking in general. For your goals, as you are all light workers, are all somewhat the same. That is to come to the completion of your earth lifetimes, to experience the liberation of the ascension process, and to return to your source, to merge back with your light bodies and your etheric bodies that are waiting for you very patiently through all of these incarnations, channeling you for wisdom and light while you do your work here on the third dimensional plane of existence. And so it is time to get yourselves together. Your third dimensional self needs to be transformed. It needs to be lifted and merged with your etheric selves, your light bodies, your I am presence. And this is the time, and this is the lifetime when this will occur for you. I am quite certain of this. I have made it my business to know these matters. I have been working in conjunction with the Christ and with the Ascended Masters and with the Ashtar Command, the extraterrestrial Ascended Masters, of who I am the commander, for many thousands of years. Many ages we have watched you in your earth lifetimes. Many ages we have assisted you, trying to bring forth the victory of higher consciousness on this world. I do not think that any of us understood the intensity of the darkness or density. Indeed, the original plan had called for quite a different conclusion to the Earth drama. We were hoping to have many human beings enlightened by now, many willingly participating in the transformation that is occurring, when in fact we are having a hard enough time reestablishing our contacts and connections with those who are of our family, the light workers, the starseeds. Nevertheless, we will succeed in our work. It appears that those prophecies which have been given in past ages may come into play a little bit more than we had hoped concerning earth changes and overall cataclysmic events. Nevertheless, it is all God's will. It is all for the transformation and healing of this planet. So it is time for all of you to recognize, ask within your hearts, if you have not already decided upon your goal or confirmed it within you, ask about this ascension process, and I would do a little bit of research in your hearts especially. For the time is short, and the days that this earth has to exist as a third-dimensional limited sphere of chaos and confusion are at an end. And your lifetimes will not be in any way standard. What you may have come to expect from your studies of history from your past experience of one lifetime after another, this is your last lifetime on planet Earth as a third-dimensional limited being. You may choose to return here after the cleansing of the planet. It is your choice, but in doing so you will no longer be limited in the ways that you are now. You will be ascended beings. Pretty crazy stuff, huh? I am not afraid to speak the truth. I do not have a third-dimensional body which you can throw stones at or hang from a crucifix. So you see, I am here to inform you. And we are informing you on many levels while we are speaking. So what is occurring now is a quickening of your growth process, a quickening of all of the atoms and subatomic particles of your beings, in fact, of the entire planet. Everything that is existing here, everything that you have come to know as reality, is being transformed and rising into a higher dimension. We are going to penetrate the fourth dimension and go through to the fifth as a planetary consciousness, and the beings that are to remain on this planetary consciousness, or who wish to return here after their ascension, will be also in this higher dimension. It is quite delightful. I spend a great deal of time at that level. In fact, that is the level of reality where our ships are existing. This is why you cannot see them with your eyes. We are here in great numbers to assist your planet. We have been here for a long time. We have been working with the Ascended Masters, with the Great White Brotherhood. We were here when the Christ took his human birth and attained his ascension, and set the pattern for all who are to follow. And guess what? You are to follow. Your trials and tests will not be nearly so difficult. What is required of you is truly an open heart and unconditional love, as best you can manifest that for yourself and others, and a desire, a recognition. Well, that is somewhat easier, is it not? I do not think there is enough time left for all of you to go into your caves and meditate for another 20 or 30 years. So what we are experiencing is a special dispensation from the Father. And this is how planets are evolved. This is happening on planet Earth. It has happened in many planets before, and it will happen in many more. So you see, there is no end to your service opportunities. If you are feeling sad that your worldly services are perhaps going to be transformed or come to an end, I assure you there is a great deal of service that is needed. And on that note, I would like to speak a little bit to those who have already committed themselves to the Ascension. Some of you are graduates of the Ascension workshop. I would like to address to you the fact that these next days and weeks are very crucial and important, and this goes for all of you. The level of energy intensity is increasing dramatically again. Some of you have already been experiencing this in your processes and in your meditations, in your channelings, but it will continue to expand and increase. So I would like to simply point out to you that there is another transformation coming for you. I think the focal point of this activity will be the full moon in July, but between now and then, and perhaps a little bit afterwards, you can expect a time of great transformation. So I would encourage you all to meditate and go within, give yourself to the ascension process, those of you who have committed yourselves. It is another window of opportunity. But nevertheless, whatever does occur at that time or around that time, I would say to you that those of you who are on the ascension path, none of you will be quite the same. You will go through another transformation, as you have in the past. I think you will be quite pleased, as you have been pleased with your progress. When you commit yourself to this path, I think that you might say all heaven breaks loose to help you. Your connection with your guides, your ability to receive telepathic communications from the masters increases dramatically. So be aware, my friends, and enjoy yourselves. I think that the transformation that you are undergoing, specifically, will result in a greater awareness of your true beings, a greater awareness of your nature and of your connection with the Ashtar Command and your ascended brothers and sisters. Your empowerment will be intensified, and I would encourage you at that time to open to the possibility that your training has proceeded to such a state where you will feel more and more a desire for higher levels of satisfaction than can be achieved in the third dimensional reality that you have inhabited. So if you find yourself still here on the physical plane after that time, I think you will have to take refuge in your meditations and in your newfound commitment to service. There will be a great joy. It has been already underway for many of you. Some of you have already experienced what I am speaking of. But there is a transformation which is related to the feeling of understanding who you are, understanding your purpose, accepting this responsibility, and finding ways to share this information or share your love natures. And I think you will all feel more and more inspired to do this. Many opportunities will come your way. So while you are waiting for your ascension, you can take a great deal of joy in beginning to fulfill your roles to a greater extent, deepening your commitment to your services. I am telling you this as an indication, not as a command. I am telling you, you will need to find ways to spend your time while you are awaiting the ascension that feel worthwhile to you and feel satisfactory and blissful. I tell you, all of you, that there is no end to the love, no end to the bliss, no end to the light. In fact, the more you proceed in your growth, the higher levels of attainment that you achieve, the more of this love and light and nurturance from the masters and from God, from the great spirits, the more you require of this. So on one hand, you become very strong and empowered, spiritual warriors. And on the other hand, you become a very innocent and little childlike beings who need a lot of love and a nurturance. And this is all provided for you. We understand. We understand what it is like to be a starseed or a light worker walking around in the third dimensional reality surrounded by negativity and density, not feeling quite at home. We understand this. We are working with you all now on many levels. We are working with you in your sleep states. You might notice a different trends or different experiences in your sleep patterns. You are being trained and worked with. Your etheric bodies are taking some journeys. I think that when you finally come into the space of actually being consciously on board the ships, the Merkaba vehicles of the Ashtar Command with the remainders of the light workers and the Ascended Masters, you will already feel somewhat at home because you have been there in your sleep. You have been there in your meditations. You will continue to be contacted in this way. We are not taking liberties with you, but you see your higher selves have a contract. You have contracted for this contact at this time. Your free will is not being tampered with in our communications and interactions with you. Your free will is sacred, as the free will of all beings on this world is sacred. If it were not so sacred, all would be enlightened by now. We would have simply lifted them all up aboard ship and put them through the Ascension machine and returned them to Earth. No such luck. It is a matter of free choice, you see. So all the beings that are here on this world are undergoing all of their lifetimes and their karmas and their learning processes, and it is our hope that they will awaken with your assistance, with the assistance of those Ascended Masters who return to do some miracle work, transformational work. But our primary focus at this time is in regathering and collecting the family of light workers. Of which you are all members in good standing. You may feel that third dimensional limitations in the throat chakra. You may feel a particular alignment with a group. You may feel rather angelic in your true nature. You may feel a connection with the Ashtar Command and the extraterrestrial masters or other spiritual families. And this is, for the most part, true, whatever you are experiencing, for this is a great alliance here. All of the star seeds are not from the same place. You are from all over the universes. And many different types of beings. Now you find yourselves here. And all of the work that you have done in all of your lifetimes has taken you to this place of openness and love, where you are open and ready to receive information and communication, transformation, to take you into your next phase, to return you to your true states. It is such an exciting time. So what can you do to enhance this process? What can you do to even to find out if there is such a thing as Ascension and such a thing as the Ashtar Command? What I am telling you is that all of the Ascended Masters and the extraterrestrial ascended masters are working in unison together, cooperating under the guidance of the Christ, whose operation this is and has been. So connect with your guidance and in your meditations. It is time for you to present yourself with the possibility and the opportunity of ascension and restoration to your true natures. It is time now. It is, in fact, past time. So you can do this by meditating. You can do this by doing some more research and experiencing more of the channelings, experiencing some of the literature which has come through other channels concerning this. There is a great deal of excitement and a great deal of opportunity available to you. It is my hope you will all take advantage of it. But you must know within your hearts what is true for you. You must feel an affinity or an attunement to this. There are many other teachings in the spiritual, the New Age realm, many other historical teachings concerning reincarnation and etc. And many of these teachings do not take into account the ascension. They leave the enlightenment process as somewhat a little bit more vague, or they speak of liberation from the wheel of birth and death. Well, this is liberation from the wheel of birth and death. But we are going to be a little bit more direct and a little bit more practical with it. In fact, it is not enough to liberate your spirit. You need to liberate your bodies. Your bodies need to go too. So be grateful, all of you who are here, that you are here in physical form in this lifetime, at this incredible time, for this incredible opportunity which has never occurred on this planet. The opportunity for you to experience the ascension, to join the ascended masters, to join with the Christ, to meet with us, be one of us, and do the work that we have done and share with us. Or either that or return to your true roots, whatever your roots may be in the universe. If you are angels and you wish to join your angel friends, you may do so. But know that your life is going to be quite a bit different than your parents' lives and your grandparents' lives. It is only a matter of a short time before the earth transforms itself. And it is my hope that you will transform yourselves ahead of this time to help with the process. There is a great deal of work that needs to be done. So you may look at this as also as a service opportunity. Hasn't it always felt rather strange to you, being so limited, being so enmeshed in a physical body and having to manifest in all of these strange ways, money and jobs and rent and car payments? It is so strange. It is that the world, this planet, has been somewhat taken over by the fallen hierarchy, as I will call them. Their rules and their desires are for dominion. They do not wish to share this experience of liberation, this experience of ascension. They wish to communicate to you that you must work, that you must serve them, and remain entangled in their monetary systems of control. Well, the joke is on them, for we are going to do some rather dramatic lifting of liberation and free many, many beings. And those who have sought to control on this world and those who have served the darkness will be dispatched to more appropriate locations in the universe. Archangel Michael and his legions are working on this level, working with us also. So you see, my friends, my dear ones, you are involved in a cosmic drama of epic proportions. You are, to some extent, awakening to who you are, yet you are still, to another extent, believing still somewhat in limitations, in your weakness and in your limited abilities. Now is the time that you will crack your shells a little bit and be reborn into your true power and your true nature so that you can assist us and assist yourselves in carrying out the will of the Father in this dimension of existence, in this corner of the universe. So stay awake, meditate, breathe consciously, call upon the Ascended Masters, ask your spirit guides whether or not this information about the Ascension is true. Ask whether it is something that you should pursue at this time. Find a place in your heart for this information and see what happens. I think you are in for a surprise. You see, you have been waiting to hear about this for many, many lifetimes. And those of you who have heard about it never tire of hearing about it again. It is reassuring, isn't it?
Yes.
The truth is often stranger than fiction, and this time I think it is far more outrageous than fiction. Nevertheless, it is truth, and it is what we must communicate to you. I am not asking you to communicate it to anyone else, unless you are feeling totally aligned with this, but I am at liberty to do so. So let me be the one to be outrageous and crazy. You can simply sit back and absorb it and make your own judgments. So there is so much love that we have for you. So much our longing to share with you. What is happening now is happening not only on this planet, it is happening throughout the entire universe, all of the universes. As Jesus said last time, it is like God's laughter. And God laughs, and the waves of his laughter spread out through all of the dimensions of the universe. And we experience it as light, and we experience it as love. And we experience it as you experience it. We are a little bit closer to it than you, so we experience it a little bit first, and we are a little less shielded or veiled than you, so we experience it with more intensity. Nevertheless, your veils are being removed rather quickly, so enjoy. Breathe it in. The love of the Christ is for you. It is for you to merge with your own Christ self, to follow his footsteps, to rise physically, to be lifted and transformed, to take on your light bodies, to become immortal, to be liberated from jobs, to be liberated from physical pain and suffering, free to enjoy. So I think it would be a good time to open the floor to any questions. If you have questions concerning any of this or other related issues, please address them to me. I will do my best.
I have a question. You've been coming in quite clear until this last week, and some of the others have been coming in, and all of a sudden I can't even hear you. Could you tell me and give me some suggestions of what's happening?
Who else have you been hearing from now?
I always hear from you. And
lately, in this time that you are saying that you have not heard from me?
Since Friday, no, and last night no one came in.
You are getting spoiled, aren't you? When she is beginning to channel, she was overjoyed. Now she is saying, hey, what's going on? They're not here this evening. I think it is for you to be patient and understand that we are working with you. There will be times that you have so much going on, so much release, so much activity in your etheric or in your emotional bodies on various levels of your being that despite your best efforts, you may not feel the ability to channel. We are working with you. If you do not feel me, it is because my shift is over for the time being and another one is working with you. We take shifts, you see. We are darting about constantly, like bees to flowers. You are all the light flowers, and we are the bees trying our best to pollinate you. Sometimes you need some Jesus energy. Sometimes you need Watana or some Native American energy. Sometimes you need Archangel Michael, Saint Germain. Any number of beings are offering their services to you, especially those of you who have committed yourselves to the Ascension path. When you do so, you open the floodgates, and you are, in a sense, saying, okay, give me the full blast. And when you say this, your higher self is acknowledging its mission and its desire to connect with the most beneficial energies, the most beneficial beings for whatever stage of development you are undergoing. So considering your particular commitment, I would say surrender somewhat to your experience and try not to be too attached. There may be times when you will have long periods where you cannot channel, but continue to meditate. When it comes back, it will come back stronger. Sometimes we have to take a break and operate on your receptors.
I saw the 3-hour videotape by William Cooper. Very bizarre and very upsetting. Is that pretty much true? The contents of the tape?
Yes. He has a perspective that is not quite as evolved, though, so I would not... I would take the information as information on a third-dimensional level, so to speak. He is not as aware as you are of the Ashtar command and of the role of the extraterrestrial and ascended masters, you see. So there are, in fact, many plots and plans by the secret governments to take over and control the world, and you can see in the news every evening, if you are attuned to this, the various manipulations of media and alliances that are being made to bring this about. I would not take this in a way that it causes you a great deal of fear. Perhaps you can take comfort in the fact that we have the situation in hand. There will be much chaos and confusion, but those who are of the light will not, by and large, be affected by it. So make sure you are of the light, and we can't speak about this again. It is rather an interesting subject.
The last full moon was spoken of as the Christed moon. Could you talk about that? You did.
I do not think the moon will ever be Christed in that sense. I think you are to be Christed.
Where did that come from? That wasn't there.
I think it was perhaps one of those New Age connections that humans attempt to make. It was indeed a time when the Christ energy was very activated, so perhaps someone has tuned into this.
Ashtar, the commitment that you just talked about to the Ascension, is it more than a sincere desire to participate?
No. That's your commitment. The sincere desire will draw you to meditations and to other areas of personal growth, which will assist you in your preparation, but that is all that is truly required. I would say a true, sincere desire and a certain aspect of surrender to the lessons and to the process as it unfolds. An openness to receive guidance and perhaps to stretch yourselves a little bit in meditation. But truly it is more a matter of the heart at this time. I would say that for all practical purposes, anyone who has a very strong, sincere desire will be accepted upon the Ascension path. And once you are accepted upon the Ascension path, it is for you simply to keep one foot after another and not take any side trips unnecessarily. And if you continue to do this, you will attain your goal. It's a moment-to-moment, day-by-day experience. It is no different from spiritual growth, from the meditations and the paths you have been walking. I am simply defining for you and pointing out to you that it is coming towards the conclusion or the climax of your spiritual growth in this way.
Is there a particular time frame? I know that you've probably been asked this many times. Some kind of time frame that we can identify with?
I would say the sooner the better, and it is our hope that it occurs very soon. But I will give you a broad time frame and say sometime within the next 5 years, so that you do not get as some others have hung up upon certain dates or times.